Talking Memphis Wrestling with Randy Hales is now streaming live on Fun Media at fun927.com and is always on Facebook, YouTube, X, Twitch, and at tv5wrestling.com.
Talking Memphis Wrestling with Randy Hales and special guests.
A week ago tonight, we presented Talking Memphis Wrestling like we do every single Tuesday night. We presented a show I'm very proud of. Look at the archive if you were one of the few that did not watch last week, because we had a classic match that everybody enjoyed. The Hair versus Hair 1972 sellout at the Mid-South Coliseum, the fabulous Jackie Fargo and Al Greene, and man, that was fantastic. I want to say hello to Calvin, to Greg, to my buddy from another mother. Randy West is in the house. Thomas here, Ange 230, Angela's here, Ben's here, Thomas is here. All kinds of people here on Talking Memphis Wrestling. Hey, it is pouring down rain as well in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Doing a little different things. I'm going to do the preview in just a second, but then I'm going to do a first take, and then we'll bring in the panel to do a first take, and we'll be off and running. We're Talking Memphis Wrestling today. We will show live a match from 1971. It's the first scaffold match in pro wrestling history. Don Greene against Jarrett at the Louisville Convention Center in Louisville, Kentucky. We'll talk about that whole card, the ticket prices, the whole thing. We will have that here today on this program. Also on this program, excited about the fact that with Power Pro Wrestling, that run 98 to 2001, we will show two videos of beautiful Bobby Eaton, the greatest tag team wrestler in the history of mankind. We show him wrecking havoc with Power Pro Wrestling. Joe Mobley, my buddy from McDonald's and the NEA Hospital, is in the house. Frank's in the house. Everybody's in the house. Richard Hood, Ben, and a bunch of people. Hey, I want to do personal stuff right now, so I'm going to do a first take. First thing I want to tell you, you might be shocked. You people might be shocked. I got a new job. Randy Hales has a new job. Randy Hales has a new gig. First time in a long time, and I'm going back to my roots. When it started, when I was 14 years old, I was a freshman in high school. I was chosen, God's know why, and you know what it led to be the ring announcer at the American Legion matches on Saturday night. Excited about that, fired up about it, did that as a young person, and again, you know what that led to. Where am I going now? What's the new gig? It is graphic number 4420. My niece, Kanan Grosbeck, that blonde-headed younger lady, but not high school age lady, is the head volleyball coach at my old school. Open the roof, let it rain, give them hell, hurricane. And right now, folks, I'm proud to say the new PA voice, the new voice of the Jonesboro Hurricane volleyball team is yours truly, the owner, the founder, the president of Power Pro Wrestling. Randy Hales has a new gig. Now, that's great. That's family. That's supporting my family. That's taking care of my family. But now, RH has a new family member. As I got a little thing where Pat was saying that he couldn't hear me, but he figured it out, and that is good, because that wouldn't be good if we couldn't hear when I pitched to him. But I'm not going to pitch for him right now because he was the second line. But right now, I will have to tell you, as Frank Seaton likes the Jonesboro shirt, and Frank Seaton heard the story, I'm the new voice of the Lady Hurricanes. Folks, good old RH, Randy Hales, Randall Benton Hales to be official, has a new family member. Let's go ahead and show 4427, and you got that up there. This is Kai Stephen Richardson, born Friday night at 9:47. That is my great nephew Corbin's and Corbin's wife Ryan's son that was born Friday night. Great picture, and welcome to the family. Another picture. Now, I have not held a baby since my nephew Cal, who is 20 years old now, was born on my 44th birthday. Cal was. This is a picture of RH this afternoon, about 3 o'clock this afternoon. And this is my great nephew Corbin. He could have been a wrestler, 6'5", 240 pounds. He places the baby in my arms, and I'm thrilled to death with that. And then we'll look at the other picture, 4454. You can tell supporting the Golden Hurricanes, and man, that is wonderful. And that is the Randy Hales first take of the day. Welcome to the family, Kai, and we'll go first come, first serve. He missed 2 weeks. He was all over the place. He had doctor's appointments. He had not for himself. Now, he wasn't doing the doctor's appointments. He was the patient. He was for 14, 15 days. He was all over the country, all kinds of mileage. He missed 2 shows, but he's here with his first take. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. freaking Rusty freaking William freaking Roberts, husband of Beth Robinson. Yay!
Boy, I can never live up to your intros, Randy, but I appreciate it nonetheless. And yes, we've been out of town for a while. We drove almost 5,000 miles in about 2 weeks or so. So it was lots of fun, but I was worn out on driving by the end of it. So I'm glad to be back at home. Actually, I'm in New Orleans tonight, or a condo there, because I had to do some work over here during the day. And Beth was over in Orange Beach. The pool in Orange Beach looks great. We got the landscaping in, so that's a good thing. People are starting to go in it, so that's good. And we're probably going to schedule a series of pool parties this fall, and maybe even invite the Talking Memphis wrestling crew to come meet us at the beach, and maybe we'll have a pool party, maybe a live event, something like that at the beach, if we can, twist everybody's arm.
Somebody says something about a beach party at Rusty and Beth's house in Orange Beach, for sure. Later on in the show today, Alexander, if you would have heard my opening, it will be the very first Scaffold Match, 1971, Jarrett against Don Greene. Now, we missed him last week. He's a busy guy. He's a business owner. He's a banker. He is the financial director advisor of Talking Memphis Wrestling. He's our expert on Nick Goulas End in Birmingham, the expert of Ole Anderson and Georgia Championship Wrestling. We are calling in right now our original freaking co-host, my buddy, Pat freaking Trammell, and all we see is a white piece of paper.
Well, the white piece of paper said, "Hey, Gail" on it. So
yeah, you can't read that. Just see a white.
I like to get a darker marker. Anyway, good to be back. Good looking little new family member you got there, Randy. Don't know if he's going to be a baby face or a heel yet, but I guess time will tell on that. But happy to be home. Thankful that Doc and Beth got back from their travels safely. and ready to be here. And this is tonight's show. And my printer's broken because we've had all kind of internet issues. But I've got my other computer up here with everything we're going to go through, and I'm very, very excited because this is a king. This is a absolutely packed history lesson in Memphis wrestling. Hello to everybody. Hello, Bo, my good friend. Hope to see you in a couple of weeks up your way and ready to go. Let me ask you, Randy, has Jonesboro always been the Hurricane? Has it never been the Hurricanes?
As far as I know, it's been Hurricanes. Sometimes I say Hurricanes, but it's officially, as you see on my shirt, it's the Hurricane. Open the ropes, let it rain, give them hell, Hurricane. And I did a practice game last week. Team was practicing, I was practicing, no audience. But Thursday night at 5:30 on Main Street, Jonesboro High School, you got the student, the person mentored by the great Lance Russell and Dave Brown. You got Randy Hales in front of people, returning to my roots, returning to Jonesboro High School, Main Street, up on Hurricane freaking Hill. Be fired up to call the Hurricanes, to open the ropes, to let it go. Looking forward to Al Tuttle is in the house, Todd in the house, Thomas, of course, Alexander in the house. I love Bo James. I love Thomas. I love PJ. I love everybody for sure. Any kind of, you've missed a couple of weeks, any kind of first take from you, Pat, that was more about me. Your first take and more about this show. What's going on in your life? I think you're losing a family member temporarily.
I am. My youngest is going back to school on Saturday, and we've enjoyed having her home this summer. But life goes on. She and her brother are in there having dinner right now, the last dinner, but I ate mine quickly to get here with my wrestling family. So anyway, just looking forward to easing into the fall, some football, and just ready to go tonight.
All right. Hey, we'll talk about history. And the funny thing is, we talk about history, and we'll talk about Louisville, Kentucky, and we will talk about the first ever in the year wrestling moved to Louisville, Kentucky later on in that year. And we'll just go directly with the card, Adam. We'll go with the 44-17. And this particular night was August the 15th, 1971. This is very interesting, and I'm going to want your input, both panel members, right now, because remember, 1971. We a lot talk about the ticket prices. This blew my mind for 1971. The ticket prices, children under 10 in the general admission section was $2. General admission tickets were $4. On the floor tickets was from third row and back was $6. First 3 rows were $10. Can you imagine that? We'll start with Rusty. Can you imagine those ticket prices? $10 ringside tickets in 1971. Your comment about that? Rusty
Wow.
Robinson.
54 years ago? Wow. I wouldn't have imagined paying $10. I couldn't have afforded it at that time. And this is in Louisville, I assume, right? That card is.
Yes, Louisville, Kentucky at the Convention Center, soon to be called the Louisville Gardens.
Okay. Yeah, the Memphis setup was a little bit different from that. They had the ringside seats, which were all around. And in general, they were the same price, as I recall. And then they had the loge, and then they had the upper level if they needed that. So the tickets there were like $4, $5, and $6, I think, when I was going there. So like in the 70s, it was about like that. But, the good thing is you have to price your tickets based on how you value your entertainment. That is, the matches. So the promoter, who I assume was Jerry, working still for Nick Goulas at the time, was pricing those tickets based on the quality of the match. He thought he could get, $10 seats sold based on this series of matches, and I'm not surprised at it. The Scaffold match with Jarrett and Don Greene. Oh man, people now don't even know that the Scaffold was not a product of WWF or WCW. It way preceded that. Memphis was so far ahead, or the Memphis promotion was so far ahead of its time. The Scaffold started being used in Memphis, like you see here, early 70s, and it was just fascinating at the time. So which is one reason why I still am so intrigued by Memphis wrestling. They did things earlier than anybody else, and they did more inventive things, as far as I'm concerned, than any of the other wrestling promotions at the time. And this is an example of that.
No doubt about it. Pat, what do you think about those ticket prices? And then we'll run over the card in just a second.
Well, Adam popped it up, and I Googled it too, and I am really amazed. A 1971, as Adam posted, and I was kind of doing the same math here, is equivalent to about $80 today. And that's a. Do you know what the house was?
We'll see the video in a few minutes, and maybe we can guess. No, that was Pat.
What did the Garden seat, Randy?
6,600.
Okay. Well, I was going to make the comment, if you look at that card, without the Scaffold match, it's a packed card for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is a fantastic card.
Starting with the bottom of the card, this is usually Michael's job, but Pat will make it your job. What we'll do is, Pat, you start with the first match, then Rusty will read the second one, and we'll switch back. Here is Pat Trammell and Rusty Robertson to tell you this great card, and I want to throw in this interesting bit of information. Louisville, Kentucky's grand opening for wrestling under the Gullis Welch Jarrett era took place on the debut card was on July the 7th, 1970. July the 7th, 1970, with the main event, Lynn Rossi and Bearcat Brown against Al Greene and Frank Martinez. Pat's going to tell you about the opening match for Sunday night, August the 15th, the convention center that would soon to be the Louisville Gardens. Here's Pat for the opening match.
Well, we started here with a ladies match of Miss Sherry Lee and Miss Sarah Lee, who I don't know. I assume they were the baby faces. And then on the opponents were Cora Combs, who was a well-known name in women's wrestling, and Miss Barbara Galante. And was that kayfabe or not Mario's wife, if you know?
I'm not sure. There was two Galento brothers. I think it was Mario's. Bo might let us know that for sure.
Did Memphis have more or less women wrestling than any other territory? I think they were kind of on a circuit. Is that right?
They were on the circuit. They go to a couple of territories. Usually we'd have 2 or 3 times a year, something like that. Here's Dr. Robinson to review the second match of the night.
Before I get to that, I will comment that I'm pretty sure this is the case that Cora Combs, or however you pronounce it, was kind of smitten with Elvis Presley and vice versa, and that he actually took her back to Graceland at some point after or when she would come on Monday nights for the matches. And Mr. Coffey used to seat Elvis both in the Ellis Auditorium and then in the Coliseum kind of separately so he could maintain some privacy. But he put out word that he liked Cora Combs. And so she apparently, so I've heard, to have a visit with the king at Graceland. So she's got that going for her, I guess. So anyway, then the next match, and it's tough for me to read, but I think I can do it. The Alaskans are the first team versus Dennis Hall and Oni Wiki Wiki. Now, I've heard of the Alaskans, although I don't ever remember seeing them wrestle. I've heard of Dennis Hall, and I think I have seen him, but I'm not sure about Oni Wiki Wiki, who that is. So that was kind of a good second match after the hot ladies match up front. Good. The fans will calm down a little bit with that. But that's about all I know about the Alaskans and Dennis Hall and Oni Wiki Wiki.
Third match of the night in Louisville at the Convention Center, the super spectacular card, the third match.
Absolutely. My favorite heel team and favorite manager, the interns with Dr. Ken Ramey versus Bearcat Brown and Eddie Marlin, and I would have loved to have seen that match.
Oh, absolutely. They were my favorite team also. Dr. Ken Ramey was such a good manager. Everybody hated him back in the day, which is what he wanted. My father used to get so mad at Dr. Ken Ramey, he'd holler at the TV, said, "What the hell kind of a doctor is he?" So we got a big kick out of it. So, yeah, that match with them versus Bearcat Brown, who was a pretty regular guy in Memphis. He wasn't there all the time, but he was there pretty often. With Eddie Marlin, boy, that would have been a good one.
Yep.
All right, who's next?
Let's see here. The next, also a tag match. Al Greene and Sir Steve Clements versus, this is a good one, Jackie Fargo and Tojo Yamamoto. That would have been a good one to see. And I guess it's not both Greens because they had elevated Don Greene to be in the Scaffold Match, so they had to find another partner for Al Greene, and that was Sir Steve Clements, who, again, I remember that name, but I can't remember ever seeing him. Of course, I saw Jackie and Tojo and Al Greene many times, so I would suspect that was a really good match as well. I don't remember being at that one. Well, I wouldn't have been at that one because this one's in Louisville. So I would suspect that would be a really good match also.
No doubt about it. And Sir Steve Clements was the manager of Don and Al Greene and other teams as well. What do you think about that match, Pat?
As you know, the Greens were some of the most heel. Don and Al were kind of a Birmingham staple heel team and badasses, but getting Jackie and Tojo on as a team that I don't know that I've ever seen before. I'm sure they did that. They may have had a run at it, but I would have loved to have seen that because actually, really complementary styles.
No doubt about it. And Rusty, this next match, I'm going to go ahead and let you read the semifinal match of the night because the person that is Pat Trammell's, he thinks he's the God's gift to the world that we're going to talk about today. So in other words, I'm not going to have you have to mention the guy's name. But anyway, Pat will love to mention his name. Go ahead and talk about this tag team match.
Okay, another tag team match. We got a bunch of tag team matches in a row there. Anyway, Carl and Kurt Von Bronner, which were another very good heel team that came to Memphis regularly, with their manager, Saul Weingroff, who was just, in my eye, he was the runner-up to Dr. Ken Ramey in terms of managers. If Ken Ramey was number one, Saul Weingroff was like 1A, at least in my opinion. And then they faced Wilbur Snyder and Robert Fuller. So that's an interesting team too. I know about Robert. I've seen him, wrestle many times and heard him and so forth. For some reason, I just never really saw much of Wilbur Snyder. I've heard of him, but for some reason he slipped through my viewing history. So again, I would think that's a great match.
As far as I know, Wilbur Snyder never wrestled in Memphis. Dick the Bruiser and Wilbur Snyder were partners in Indianapolis. They'd opened up Louisville. They weren't successful with it. Then Jerry Jarrett, Nicholas, and Roy Welch opened it up, and there was a power play that Wilbur Snyder and the Bruisers showed up to get a percentage of the town. So, had you ever heard that story, Pat?
I'd not heard that story. I hadn't at all.
Very interesting. What do you think about this match, and what do you know about Wilbur Snyder?
You know, I don't know a lot about him. I've seen him wrestle a couple of times on tape, obviously. You know, the Von Brauners were big at that point in time. In the Birmingham, and the really more so, and I wish Michael was on now, on the Nashville and the Huntsville end, although Saul Weingroff, they were probably second among equals after the Greenes as far as heel tag teams in Birmingham, along with the interns.
One thing Richard Hood says, Wilbur Snyder trained Steven Regal, and that was not the Steven Regal that it was in the WCW and WWE. That's Steve Regal that was Wilbur Snyder's son-in-law. So that's exactly what the situation was there. And King and Kingsworth said that's what I was getting ready to say. Wilbur was there to take a money bag back to Bruiser, and that's exactly what that was. This is Talking Memphis Wrestling, and to read, you might not even have to read it. You know what we're here for the dance for, Pat Trammell. As we read the main event of the Super Spectacular card, August the 15th, 1971.
That's right, and I'll reiterate before I get here this what Bo said. This truly is a WrestleMania card of Tennessee wrestling, and I contend it is one without the scaffold match, which is what we're here for. But that just adds to it. You've got Jarrett and is it Al or Don? Don Greene on the scaffold, 12 feet
up for you.
12 feet in the air. Somebody asked about the board, 2 foot wide. So here we are. Now that actually is not a board. It's a what do you call that? It's
like a painter's scaffold.
Like a painter's scaffold. That's exactly right. So I would be curious. I wish I had the opportunity to talk to either Don or Jerry about. Surely they practiced that in some manner, or do you think they did, Randy?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
Oh no, that absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I'm sure they talked it out, but as far as going up there, and they might have gone up there separately, just to get a feel of it, and I can see them doing that. But they wouldn't have wanted one person from the staff, the security, or the concession. They wouldn't have been. They certainly wouldn't have allowed that.
It was that real. Well, that's great insight.
So was that truly the first time they did a scaffold match in the Memphis area promotion? I don't remember anything before that.
No, and as far as I know, it was the first time anywhere. I could be wrong about that, but I've always been told that, Pat. Have you?
I have always heard that, and I've heard that from people other than Jarrett. I think Cornette has said that multiple times.
As the poster there, as Adam points out, it says first time scaffold match. So I think, again, Memphis was innovative. I have to give Jarrett all the credit in the world for that, even though later on in Memphis wrestling, we had some doozies. And we may show it next week and the week after. The most memorable to me is the Cocoa Ware Sweet Brown Sugar Bill Dundee scaffold match. That was tremendous. And then the last scaffold match that I ever saw was Austin Idol and Tommy Rich against Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee. Pat, anything else to say before we go ahead and watch that video from Louisville from August the 15th, 1971? one, any other thing to set this sucker up?
Well, I'm just curious as to what our friends think about it after watching it. I can tell you, I've probably seen it half a dozen to 10 times, and I'm always nervous throughout the whole thing. So it is still real to me. Damn it!
It's the first one ever, and it was the worst one in history. This is bad. And I can completely understand it because it's a scary situation for sure. But we'll go back to August the 15th, 1971, with Dr. Robinson, Pat Trammell. I'm Randy Hills, and this is the first time ever scaffold match from Louisville. And that's what. Is that a bouquet of flowers Gary has, Pat?
It looks like, I'm sure the ladies brought it. There's no bigger baby face in Louisville history, according to.
That's true.
Ladies and gentlemen, there we have the start.
Has the ring announcement going on there as Bo James, Kingsport said Jarrett got the idea from an old cowboy movie, and I can't think of the name of it. Or at the end, the good old guy gave the bad guy in the fight one
12 feet in the air.
of logs across the canyon. So that's what happened and gave Jarrett the idea.
And there will be a $5,000
Randy, who was that
winner.
ring announcer
Introducing
right
the
there?
wrestlers. First on this side of me,
I don't know his name.
I'm not sure either. That's before Johnny Randolph, isn't it? Michael would know, but I think it's before Johnny Randolph, don't you, Pat?
I think so.
And the challenge from his opponent from Nashville, Tennessee, weighing 198 pounds. Would you welcome Jarrett?
And Jarrett was over, wasn't he?
Oh, he was over.
Can't tell who the referee is there. The video, I'm sure it was shot on film. The video's not the best video that you'd ever seen in your life, but that's okay. Alexander asked why they used one scaffold board and not two boards. I have no idea. I was 11 years old, Alexander.
As I said before, I've never seen a
Randy,
wrestler
when was the first time you ever saw?
It's pretty dangerous. Just in a ringside when we have some of these wild tag matches.
Do what, Pat? What's the question?
When is the first time you ever saw this?
It's a fearing thing.
We used to make fun. Bill Dundee used to play it in the office and then on the bus making fun of Jerry Jarrett talking about how many bumps that he took and the thing and how
There's a feud that's been going on
he takes no bumps at all.
Jarrett and Don Greene for a long time.
As both
This
said,
is the pinnacle. This is the outcome of this match. There, as I said before, there is a $5,000 purse to the winner. But to get this purse, they must. One wrestler must knock the other wrestler down 2 consecutive times. This ball that these men are on is just 2 feet apart. A very, very dangerous match. Jarrett's sitting astride. He's sitting astride the board. His legs apart. He's got Don Greene in a headlock. He's trying to get him off. The crowd is getting excited, and one leg coming off the ring, off the plank, I should say, this board.
Yeah, you can tell they're both a little tentative about this.
Hold of his ankle.
They're not
The
really
man's
doing
half off,
anything
but he's
really
holding on.
dramatic.
He's holding on that 2-foot wide plank. And that's not a lot of room for 2 men to be out there. Oh, Jarrett had a headlock, but Don Greene punched him in the head. He's punched him again in the head using a fist. and pulling his hair. Don Greene goes into the tights. He's pulling him over to one side. There's one leg off the side of his plank. He's got his half off. He's hanging on as best he can. Oh my goodness. Memphis puts the fist in again. And again into the back of Jerry Jarrett's neck. He's hanging off. He's almost off the scaffold. He's upside down almost on the scaffold. The crowd are going wild here.
This announcer
He's
pad is
punching the
no
man's
less
hand.
up of
Jerry
Dave
Jarrett's
Brown,
hanging
Gordon
like
Foley,
a monkey upside down under this plank 2 feet wide. He's got one hand underneath and hanging on by his legs. Don Greene's coming halfway down one of the scaffold sides and hitting his hands. Let's hope Jerry can hang on. He's got his foot into his neck and face. Don Greene put his foot into Jerry Jarrett's face, and Jerry Jarrett is making a comeback to get back on the board.
You see the drama as the people are with this pack.
Oh, this is hot. The crowd is way hot for this.
Matt?
Oh, yeah, it's hot for me watching it.
How do you do with heights, Pat?
There goes Don Greene again.
Well, I used to fly, so I'm okay.
He got it back, and he's still hanging on there. Well, this must take a lot of energy.
Not with Don Greene banging on me, though.
No.
He's doing his best to hang on. I'm sure he doesn't want to come down to lose this match. There's a great difference between these two men in their weight. I think it's a case of agility and brains against brawn. We'll have to see the outcome.
Rusty, did you ever see a scaffold match in Memphis?
I'm pretty sure I did. I'm trying to remember who was in it, though. It must have been Dundee.
Dundee and Coco.
Yeah, that's it. Because Dundee was sort of the master of the scaffold matches, as I recall.
Don Greene used the fist on Jerry Jarrett's head and pulling his hair at the same time. Jerry Jarrett.
Now, what the stories are selling here, Pat, is real simple. Danger.
And once again, Don
Absolutely.
Jerry Jarrett's sitting upright. He's sitting upright. He kicked him. Jerry Jarrett gave a double kick and knocked him flat on his back. The crowd are going wild. Jerry Jarrett's taking the upper hand here. Jerry Jarrett throws a punch to Don Greene this time. He's got him laying down flat on his stomach. Jerry's putting the punches to him. And again, the crowd are going wild. Jerry's heaving him over to one side. His right leg's hanging off.
Richard, it was Jerry Jarrett's idea to have it. He was the booker.
Jerry's got both.
And both said he got it from a movie.
Don Greene is hanging.
Gave him the idea.
Jerry Jarrett's hammering. The crowd's going
See,
wild.
that's so simple. There's not crazy high spots, but there's limits of, you have to be knocked off twice consecutively.
There he goes.
And there goes number one.
It is so loud in there.
Yeah.
He's laying on the floor. The referee raises Jerry Jarrett's hand. It took just 7 minutes. 7 minutes for Jerry Jarrett to get Don Greene on for the first time.
Yeah, Thomas says Bill was at home up there. He's referring to Bill Dundee, who had been born to circus performances, I believe, and had some training in a
Gets Don Greene off of that scaffold,
on a
once
scaffold,
again,
basically, or
he will be
trapeze.
the winner, but it has to be 2 consecutive times.
Right, Gregory says, but Bill worked in the circus.
To be up there on that 2-foot wide plank, just 2 feet wide, and Don Greene's a big man, so there's not too much room for him to stand on.
Pat, Don Greene was just a great
Neither
wrestler.
man, they're both.
Yeah.
Oh, Jerry Jarrett's
You
down,
can't-
Don Greene's
you
hand
can't-
inside
overrate he and Al.
No.
He's feeling really good and aggressive. Jarrett is doing a great job.
Now,
They
Pat,
got into
you
a
had
finger
dropped
lock
by
now, double finger lock,
Lynn
hand lock.
Boss's store in Nashville. Did you ever go to Greene's appliance store?
I did not. I did not know that existed up until probably a year ago when you or Michael mentioned it. Well, Don and Al were both not with us. I went to Lynn's store in this century.
I bet you had a lot of questions for him.
I did. We had a good visit. We had a really good visit. Nice man.
Did he talk open to the wrestling business?
Yeah, I mean, he knew I was smart, but
it's bad enough when you're on the mat, in the ring, but high up there, it must also be scary. Don Greene's got a chain, I believe he's got a chain around his neck, and the referee is almost helpless down.
The Greenes were masters of the chain and the tight.
Yep.
I believe the referee's going up there to see what he can do.
Referee trying to climb up on the scaffold.
Trying to restore order.
It isn't too easy to see down there exactly just around their neck. There was a chain around there. And now it's been reversed. Jarrett has got the chain. That's a different story. Don Greene doesn't like that. He's punched him in the head. Punched Jarrett in the head and knocked him back. And using the chain again. There goes the referee, Bobby Thomas, climbing the scaffold to try and break it up. This is not stipulated in the match. This is something Don Greene's done by himself again.
Now, who's the announcer, Randy?
I don't know.
He's English, right?
Sounds like it to me, yes, sir.
They got rid of the chain. Now maybe we can get a fair match out of this.
Boy, I tell you, Jerry was over when you listen to that crowd.
Yes.
Jarrett's put a head scissors around Don Greene's head and he's holding on to it. But Don Greene's returning punches to his midsection. And boy, he's laying him in. Now he's got a chokehold on Jarrett. He has a chokehold. Boy, Jarrett's face is grimacing. He must be hurting that neck. He has a chokehold.
You know, if this crowd is any indication, Jerry was more over in Louisville than he was in Memphis even. I mean, he was over, but not to that extent.
No, he was over more than anybody in Louisville. By the way, Pat, this was in 1972. Joe Jarrett was born in 1942.
But Don Greene's got hold of Jarrett's foot and twisting it to one side, trying to force his body off the side of the scaffold.
So Jerry was not exactly a teenager in this match.
No, I thought he would have been younger than that.
So he's 30, right? Or almost 30.
Right.
He's putting a lot of pressure.
This is in August, and this event was September the 4th, 19.
Forcing the other leg off the side with his foot.
This match was August 12th of 74. Jerry was born September the 4th of 1942.
There's almost 30.
Yeah. Jerry died February 14th, 2023 at 80 years old.
Jerry's hanging on, though. Jerry's hanging on, hoping he can get into a better position.
You know, Alexander in the chat mentioned Jerry Jarrett was under 200 pounds. I think that was part of the gimmick. They would announce him at 198 pounds, as I recall. And that was to make him kind of the underdog. I don't think he even weighed 198. I thought he was lighter than that. But that made him an underdog, announcing him at that weight.
I mean, now old men shrink, right? but I'm 5'9", and Jerry was shorter than I am.
Oh my goodness. Jarrett's hanging off both legs by his stomach. Don Greene's pounding punches into the back of his neck.
Just the drama, comparing it to Nendy, but the bottom line is that the audience has entered the match or is it not? There's nothing phony about this match. Nothing phony about the match, and the drama is tremendous, guys, tremendous.
Oh, the crowd is eating it up.
Oh, Don Greene's pounding on the knuckles of Jerry Joe, trying to make him let go. Oh my goodness, that must wear a man's arms out, hanging upside down. Don Green stomping on Jarrett's hands. He's falling down, and Jarrett went to the floor.
There he goes.
Jarrett went to the floor. This makes the first time he's been down. That makes one apiece. First Don Greene, the referee raised Don Greene's hand, and you probably heard the retorts of the crowd booing him.
Alexander in the chat again says, I bet Jerry was the same height as CM Punk or Seth Rollins. I think he was even shorter than that, Alexander. I think CM Punk was 6 feet or so, and Jerry was several inches below that.
Adam is asking, why is this considered bad, just compared to the others of the modern era? But watching it now, I think not only is this not bad, it's a hell of a match. I mean,
the scaffold matches that I've seen are at least twice that wide. And this 2 foot makes it so much different.
Yeah, I was going to say, in WCW, when they started doing it, and they had like the Midnight Express and so forth on there, it was 2 of those scaffolds side by side, so it was twice as wide.
Adam made a comment backstage. It's not considered necessarily a good match, but it's a real situation. And I'm paraphrasing you, Adam. I'm sorry. It feels like a real situation, and it sure does.
And the people believe everything that they're seeing. Sometimes you watch a modern match and you have to say, hey, these guys are cooperating with each other. This does not look like there's any cooperation at all, does it, guys?
No.
Mm-mm.
Rusty, have you ever watched this match?
I don't think so. I mean, I somehow vaguely remember it happening, but I don't think I've seen it before.
Richard asking if Dutch Mantell was in the scaffold match. Not that I remember, but I couldn't bet my life against it. Pat, do you know?
I don't. Good point. Good point, Alexander.
The referee's trying to stop it. The referee had a really tough job here.
The announcer is really telling the story. The announcer, I was making fun of him earlier, but he's doing a good job. Adam backstage says the scaffold is the high spot, and that's brilliant, Adam. Adam also says this sounds like a radio call. He can imagine it on the radio. Listen to these people. I'm thinking over 6,000 fans, Pat.
Yeah, and they're all into it.
There's no end to this, man.
Oh, great crowd.
I guess this $5,000 must have gone to his head. He must really want it.
Bo does say the Dutch versus Dundee in spring of '83 was the scaffold match. I'll see if I can find that for next week.
You know, Bo, I think Dutch talked about that match recently on his podcast. Talking about because he didn't like it. Dundee loved the scaffold matches, but Dutch wasn't crazy about it. Was my take on it.
Yeah.
Jarrett's fighting fire with fire. He's got the man. Jarrett's got this Don Greene by his beard, I believe. It looks like he's got him by his beard. Jarrett standing up. He's kicked Don Greene. He's gave him a kick and another one. Jarrett's doing a great job on Don Greene. Don Greene's legs come off. One leg's off. Jarrett's pounding on him. Jarrett's pounding on his back. He's got him. Jarrett's got him. He's hit him in the face. The crowd's going wild. The crowd's going. He's down. He's down. Jarrett's won the match. He's won the match.
Well, that announcer's into it.
Over.
He's holding Jarrett's hands up. What a great win for Jarrett. He must feel a very happy man after this great feud.
Alexander, I wouldn't be surprised. I think both AEW and WWE would do it. TNA would probably do it. As Bo says, he thinks the announcer is Lord Layton, who worked for Victor Bruiser and the Sheik. Very good point, and thank you very much for that input. So they're selling like a broken arm here, Pat.
Oh,
It may
yeah.
possibly be broken. It may possibly be broken.
And the announcer's really playing it up.
There's the answer once again, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody's thrown a wreath into the ring with Don Greene's name on it. A wreath.
Yeah, PJ says, hope the commentator didn't have a heart attack. No kidding. He was really into it.
He won't be able to return. His arm looks like it's broken. Jarrett is the winner. He wins the $5,000 purse. Announcing his arm is broken. Hey, you look pretty good.
Thomas, I don't think it was
We're
broke.
still going here, but the announcement is made. Jarrett standing on the scaffold.
Listen,
Two
crowd
fingers raised
is
in the air on both sides. A great win for him.
As Adam said,
$5,000
the
and a great
people
championship.
pop for
This
the
match has
broken
finally come
arm.
to a head between
You know you're over as a heel.
No doubt about it. As we'll go ahead and come out of that. That's the scaffold match. That's the first scaffold match that there ever was. That was August the 12th, let me look at that. I'm screwing up my notes here. That was August of 1972. August the 15th of 1971. I don't get it right yet. 1971, that's a long time ago. Pat, I was 10 years old. Your comments about what we just saw, full screen, Professor Trammell will break down this. This will be his Jim Cornette version, his Bully Ray version of breaking down a wrestling match. He'll do that right now on Talking Memphis Wrestling.
Well, what you notice to this, as opposed to modern scaffold matches, is you see the intensity of two people on a There's no high spots on that. It's about Bruce strength. It's about positioning. The second round where Al Greene pulled out the chain, choked Jerry, all that got the crowd into it. That heated the crowd up, and then when he won the third fall, the whole place just popped. As Cornette says, they threw the babies in the air.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. Now, I know what your specialty is, Rusty, in a doctor, but obviously you've dealt with all kinds of things medical. If somebody came up to you and two guys, probably Don was close to 40, Jerry was close to 30, and say, "Doctor, we need your medical advice. If you think I should do it or not do it, if I go up a 12-foot scaffold and I wrestle for 20 minutes in front of 6,000 people, do you think that's a good idea?" Because sometimes I'm sure people ask you questions not having anything to do with traditional medical advice. What would your answer be, full screen Rusty Robinson, to answer that question and also give his thoughts on that match?
Oh, I'm surprised I have not seen that match before. That
Really?
was really good. In fact, as Adam said in the chat below, I'm surprised anybody would say that was a quote bad match. That was a terrific scaffold match. It is. Pat said maybe there weren't quite as many big spots in it, but it didn't need it. They played it just exactly right. Now, if somebody asked me, should you, in general, should you do a should anybody do a scaffold match without being ready to get hurt? No. Something's going to happen if you fall off at 12 feet, and it may not be good. You certainly could, like a big guy like Don Greene. What was he, like 240 or so? He certainly could have. Yeah, he could have broken something very easily. That might have been legit. I don't know whether it was or not, but it certainly could have been. And the bigger the guy is, the old saying, the harder they fall. But that's legit. You're more likely to break something if you're a bigger person falling from a height than a smaller person, because you just have more mass and energy when you hit the ground. So if you ask me, I would say no. But knowing wrestling, if anybody's going to do it, I guess it would be professional wrestlers.
For sure, as we come back to us, and if you put Richard Hood's latest comment, because we have a question here, and it's not directed to me, which kind of hurts my feelings. Richard Hood is saying, we'll start with Rusty first, then Pat. It says, "Pat and Rusty, how are you doing?" Richard Hood wants to know. So answer the question, because you don't give a shit. Richard Hood don't give a shit how I'm doing or not. So Rusty, answer that, Richard. I think we're going to X-nay him. Answer the question, please.
Oh, I'm doing good, Richard. We're having a great time tonight. It's a beautiful night in New Orleans. I'm in New Orleans tonight, so it's a beautiful night here, and we're having a great time. So, just humor, Randy. He's just had a new great nephew or something. So I don't even know how to define that child, but that's a great.
Great. That's not hard to understand. That means my niece had a son, Corbin. So she's my niece. Corbin would be my great nephew. Kai would be my great. It's real easy. Okay. You're a damn doctor. I don't have a medical degree, and I can figure it out.
Okay, so that's what we have to put up with, Richard, when we're asking Randy how he's doing. We'll get a
it's best just to leave that one alone, Richard.
So
good to see you, Richard. So Richard asked,
go ahead. Respond to that, because he wants to know how you're doing.
Well, I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here with everybody. I'm sorry you're not getting the attention you feel you deserve, but you asked Rusty and I. And Richard, I'm sorry I can't scroll down. I was going to read something else you said, but Yeah, Doc, I no offense to your profession, but I don't think you need a medical degree to see if you fall 12 feet from the scaffold. Yeah, that shit's going to hurt.
Now, Richard
I
has,
will tell you this. Can I say this, Randy? And
yes, sir.
I said it before. The thing that impressed me most about that match that I don't know if you can sell in wrestling today was the intensity of them close, no high spots, just mano a mano, brute strength, trying to get each other off that scaffold.
Look at that picture, guys.
The intensity of it.
How serious Don is looking there. He looks concerned for his life, which he was.
Sure.
Hell, I would have been too.
Absolutely.
That's just absolutely.
I know what I want to say to Richard. Yeah, he mentioned Cornette getting hurt in a scaffold match. I think he fell off and went straight down on his knee. And Rusty, you can give us some medical stuff here, and didn't bend. And I think tore the ligaments in his knee up.
Yeah, Cornette's talked about that in his podcast many times. He actually blew out almost every single ligament in that knee when he had that fall. And he's never really recovered from it, as far as I can tell. You know, he's had surgery on it, and he still is limps a bit from that.
Big Bubba Rogers was part of that team, and he was supposed to catch Cornette, but there was a spotlight that freaking blinded Big Bubba, Pat, and so he didn't see Cornette coming.
Yeah.
So he just didn't catch him, and boom. So that's what happened there.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. That was just fantastic. I love it when we get back to the roots. And last week we showed the 72 highlight. Pat and Rusty, I wish you'd have been here. Last week we had the most numbers that we ever had in history. We still can say that's the record numbers unless we have a whole bunch of people watch the end of this show today. But it was just a fantastic show, and today we are really showing. I enjoyed that match. Now that I've had an open mind, Pat, I enjoyed that better than the Jackie Fargo Al Greene hair versus hair match we saw that you missed last week on Talking Memphis Wrestling.
Well, it's certainly something you don't see every day. And, hats off to Jerry and Greene, man. Those guys, Don and Jerry sold that like tomorrow's newspaper.
No doubt about it. And we will move right now. And we won't spend a lot of time because I want to show a video later on, two videos later on this show. Go ahead, Adam, and pull up 4415. This is from August the 10th, 1963, and I love it when we do this. I love it when we find cards back in the beginning days of Memphis wrestling, and there we go. This card from Monday night, and this was in the year 1963. I wouldn't have been quite 2 years old at that point. At the bottom of the card, see TV stars in action. Then it says Donnie Fargo against Tinker Todd, Larry Montana against Rocky Smith, the fabulous Jackie Fargo in 63 against Don Greene, who we just saw in a match in Louisville in 1971, and the final match for the World Tag Team Championship, Carl and Kurt Von Bronner against Alex Perez and Tojo Yamamoto, and that's at the Ellis Auditorium in Memphis on Monday night, August the 10th, 1963. Your thoughts as we go ahead and take that card off, Adam. Your thoughts briefly, Rusty.
Oh, first thing I noticed, Lenny Montana. Is he not the guy who went on to play the role of Luca Brasi in the first Godfather movie? He was a professional wrestler, real big guy, and he was Italian. And he played it was like an enforcer type character. I'm pretty sure that's who it is. Bo might know that, or Adam, but I'm pretty sure that was the first thing I noticed.
Wow.
What else did I notice about that?
Let's put the card back up, please, so Rusty can see the card as he's talking about it, Adam, if you don't mind.
Yeah. The other thing, Donnie Fargo is on the card with Jackie. There weren't, or Donnie had pretty much stopped coming around by the time I was watching. I don't really remember Donnie much by the early 70s, so I would have been interested in seeing that. And I didn't realize that like Don Greene went back that far. I guess I don't remember thinking he was that old, but I guess so. Now Alex Perez, I knew that name, but I didn't really, don't really remember him wrestling. But I can't imagine that would not have been a good match with him and Tojo against the Von Brauners.
Go ahead and read Adam's private message that he just said to you in regarding to this, Rusty, if you would read that.
Oh yeah, okay. And this is from Adam. In The Godfather 1972, Francis Coppola hired former wrestler Lenny Montana to play the role of Luca Brasi, who is one of Don Corleone's henchmen. In the novel, if you've ever read the Godfather novel, which in some ways is better than the movie by Mario Puzo, they play up the role of Luca Brasi much more. Oh, and he was really a psychopath in the novel, much more so than is portrayed in the movie. But I'll tell you, Lenny Montana did a great job in that role. The scene at the beginning of the movie when they're having the wedding and the Don is sitting in his office taking people in to come see him, you see Luca Brasi, or Lenny Montana, standing out in front, and he's practicing his speech that he's going to tell the Don when he comes in to give him his gift for his daughter getting married, and it's just classic. He can barely read, and he has to memorize his speech because he doesn't want to be embarrassed in front of Don Vito Corleone. A great scene.
Now, Pat, one of the great things about this show that we've been doing for 4 or 5 years now, our goal is to educate our listeners, but how many times does Michael get educated, Rusty gets educated, I get educated, and you got educated? This is just real strong, good stuff, and thanks for Adam for doing that research, and thanks to all our audience that made comments, because that I did not know. Your comment on that card and the bit of information that the nugget we just got, Pat.
Well, I got that, and Google is your friend, and I pulled him up. But, he became involved in the Colombo family in the late 60s before the movie. But it talks about how he was a mask guy, and he and Eddie Graham had a big run in Florida together, a big group of matches. But I never knew that. I mean, we've all learned something interesting tonight. Randy, was Donnie Fargo a real brother?
No.
Okay.
None of the three. Neither Don, Sonny, or Jackie.
No, Jackie and Sonny were real brothers.
Were they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought that.
I'll be darned.
Absolutely.
Well, there you go. Yeah, so I learned something too.
So there were 4 Fargo brothers.
Yeah. At one time, there was a Johnny Fargo, and that was Johnny Valentine.
Okay.
Wow. No, I didn't know that either.
All right. We're going to skip a couple, Adam, and we're going to go to 4414. This is August the 12th, 1974. It did 11,500 people. The week before, it did 11,600. The week before, it did 8,900. The business was on fire at the Mid-South Coliseum. Wrestling then, Pat and Rusty, was, as Rusty knows, because he was watching it on WHBQ TV Channel 13. Opening match was Tommy Gilbert against the Bounty Hunter #2. The second match was Robert Fuller against Jim Lancaster. Ricky Gibson against Bounty Hunter #1. Then came a 6-man tag team battle. Jackie Fargo, Tojo Yamamoto, and Eddie Marlin against Al Greene, Phil Hickerson, and Sam Bass. And the main event was the grudge match of the year, the battle of the year, Jerry Lawler against Dick the Bruiser. This was Monday, August the 12th, 1974. So this is about 3 years after that Scaffold Match. As you notice, Jarrett, by this point, was concentrating on promoting and booking. He was not on this card as well, but this is a big one as Dick the Bruiser came into Memphis and the Mid-South Coliseum on August the 12th, 1974. Your thoughts on that, Mr. Pat Trammell?
Well, if you could pop it back up, Adam, I've got a couple of questions. Was Dick the Bruiser an AWA kind of mainstay?
He wrestled all over. He wrestled for the NWA for Sam Munsnick with St. Louis. He was big in St. Louis. He wrestled all over the world. He was banned from Madison Square Garden. He wrestled all over. He opened his own territory in Minneapolis, Indiana, in the WWA. So that's where you were thinking there. So I would assign him to the WWA, Pat, more than I would anywhere else.
Okay.
And that's what connected him with Louisville, is that he considered Louisville part of his territory when he was in Indianapolis, and he had run it for a while, but kind of, I think, run it in the ground, and kind of quit. And Jerry Jarrett saw that and realized that was a fertile market and went there to build it up. And Dick the Bruiser got kind of annoyed with it. That's why he wanted to, step in and get at least make some of the money off of Jerry Jarrett's promotion.
Yeah.
Now, before Pat, hold your thoughts, okay, real quick, and if we could get that graphic off of there for just a second, and Bo's last comment.
Yeah.
If we could put that up there, Adam, because talking about that actor we talked about, this is interesting. He said Lenny knocked the wrestling business on the Johnny Carson show. Captain Lou Albano chased him out of Madison Square Garden after that.
Wow. I didn't know that story either.
And Richard Hood asked why Dick the Bruiser was banned from Madison Square Garden, just the same reason Jackie and Don Fargo was banned. They caused riots at the Madison Square Garden for sure. Now back to that card, and we can put it back there. As Pat, I think might have some more questions. As Pat. I guess you need that card up there, and there it is.
Well, the comment I was going to make is I am generally not a fan of 6-man tags. I think there's just too much in and outs and all that. But you've got some fantastic wrestlers in that one. You know, I think Sam was underrated as a wrestler, and he's the weakest wrestler in that thing, and that's saying something.
Rusty, do you have any questions or comments about this card?
Yeah. So the bounty hunters are separated in this one. I know one of them was Jerry Novak, I believe. The other one, was his name Gary Graham?
No, David Novak. They were brothers. Jerry and David Novak. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I thought there was a guy named Gary Graham who wrestled for a while, who I worked with, believe it or not, at a Kroger grocery store back in the day after he quit wrestling. And I had thought somehow he had been one of the bounty hunters at one time, but who knows?
A lot of people claim the wrestlers when they never was.
Yeah. Randy, what was Burt Bates' story in the Memphis wrestling territory?
In Tennessee, you had to have a local promoter. Now, Nick Goulas and Roy Welch was in Nashville. You had to have something from Memphis. So as a local businessman, they gave a very small percentage of the town too.
Okay.
So they could get a promoter's license. They would not have got a promoter's license without somebody from Memphis.
Okay.
Burt Bates actually married a girl who went to college with my wife and I at Rhodes College in Memphis.
Were you sure that wasn't Guy Bates?
No, it was Burt. It was Burt for sure.
Burt was old.
Yeah, he was several years ahead of us, but he married a younger woman.
Oh my goodness! Way to go, Burt! That's exciting. All right. Hey, Last thing we're going to do, a couple of videotapes. I have a lot of memories from the 1998-2001 run of Power Pro Wrestling. We'll see stuff from the year 2000 and 2001. This first one is the debut on Memphis. It has some other stuff because it's about a 5-minute, 42-second video, but let's watch the debut for Power Pro Wrestling against, without a doubt, look at me people so you can tell I am serious. I've been around wrestling a long time, met hundreds of thousands of wrestlers, however many I have. There was no nicer human being on the face of God's green earth, without a doubt, than beautiful Bobby Eaton. Did you have comments with that, Pat?
Just a consummate professional, nice guy. The stories Cornette tells of not being able to let Bobby out at the C-store because he would take care of all the bums hanging around and buy whatever they wanted and all that. I mean, I've never heard anybody. I met Bobby once, but I never heard anybody say a bad word about Bobby Eaton. And that's hard.
In the wrestling business, you can find plenty that'll knock me and knock Bo James. Bo's knocked me, I've knocked Bo. Anyway, we will watch the debut of Power Pro Wrestling, and this is a good little segment, and to the best of my knowledge on this show, it's 5 minutes, 42 seconds if you want to look for it there, Adam. For my knowledge, we played it on the Monday Night Power Pro show when we used to do that. Never played it on this show. 5 minutes, 42 seconds. The moral of this story is you'll never see your grandkids again. Let's watch.
Well, we still got some more power.
What a day it's been, Dave. I've seen everything today. We just got through seeing the Spellbinder win a 10-man hardcore event. I'm losing my gum, Dave.
Tell you what, you've done great. You've done a good job and have not interfered. I hope I can still say that when this is over.
Hey, right. You watch your mouth, Baxter.
Here is Brandon Baxter of Victoria, and you promised you'd have your partner with you, and I say, here you are, no partner.
No, Dave. Are you trying to say that when I make a promise that I don't make good on that promise?
Yeah, many times I would say that.
Well, what I'm going to do right now is make good on that promise. But before I get there, remember last week, Bill Dundee came out here and he called me out like he was a big shot, right? The big commissioner called me out. Well, Bill Dundee this week, Brandon Baxter and Victoria, we're calling you out. So play the commissioner's music, and Dundee, get out here right now.
Hey, don't go ordering the commissioner around. I suspect if you invite him out here, he will come. No, they can say what they want to. I don't know.
He's going to call down Bill Dundee. Let's see who this Mr.
But I bet he will be here in just a minute.
Well, he's not here.
There's the commissioner back there. Here he comes.
The superstar.
Well, for one thing, it'd be better to invite him out nicely instead of ordering the commissioner around.
Show me what I'm calling him.
It's a little different.
Beautiful Bobby Eaton, the special guest co-host on this edition of Power Pro Wrestling.
Hey, that ain't no big shot, Commissioner. I'm just the commissioner. Now, if you got something to say to me, say it, and all them nice folks. Otherwise, you're just taking up valuable tea.
Absolutely.
Let me see if can you remember back a week ago when you told Victoria and myself that we needed to find a tag team partner? Do you remember that, Bill?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. Well, we went out. And when you said I needed to find a tag team partner, there's one man's name who comes to mind as the best tag team wrestler in the history of the wrestling business. The best tag team wrestler that there ever has been and that there probably ever will be. Bill, this man...
Hey, Jerry Lawler ain't going to be on your side, and Bill Dundee ain't going to be on your side. Yeah. Because that's who's going to be whooping you in Jonesboro. Don't ever forget it.
Lawler and the Cat, they can come out and try to do what they can try to do in Jonesboro. But the man that I've got for a partner, he's a former Southern Tag Team Champion. He's a former Mid-American Tag Team Champion, a Mid-South Tag Team Champion, a World-Class Tag Team Champion, the United States Tag Team Champions, and the NWA World Tag Team Champions. Do you know where I'm going? Let me introduce to you our partner for the big showdown at the Nut House. He is the Midnight Express member, beautiful Bobby Eaton.
Oh,
Bobby
no way.
Eaton.
He's got Bobby Eaton.
Bill. Hey.
There he is.
There
Bobby.
he is. Beautiful Bobby Eaton headed this way.
I'm
my
in,
gosh.
Thomas.
Shakes hands with Brandon Baxter. A hug for Victoria. I can't believe
Hey,
it.
that's Bill Dundee's son-in-law.
Bill, I know you can't believe it either.
Yeah, I heard Brian Christopher say, but Bobby was Bill Dundee's son-in-law.
This is never going to happen, Baxter, because this ain't nothing to do with wrestling, what you're trying to do. You don't like Bill Dundee, and I know you don't like Bill Dundee, and you're probably right, all the things that you said about this man. But the main thing you left out, punk, he's my son-in-law. That means he's married to my daughter, and he ain't sticking up with you. So, let's go, man. You ain't...
Yeah.
Hold on a minute, Bill. I'm not no little boy. You don't tell me what to do. I gave this man my word. He's paying me a lot of money. And you know I'm shooting when I say this, because of you and Jerry Lawler, I had to leave for years from Memphis, because you got the big push. Lawler got the big push.
And they wanted to hold a superstar back. They tried to hold him back for years.
Let me tell this to Lawler, okay? In Jonesboro, I want Lawler to bring in Pussycat with him. I'm going to give this man my word. I'm going to stop him around. And if you say one more thing to me or touch him again, you won't see your grandkids ever.
Oh, now come on, don't do that. Don't get family into
For
it.
this, brother. Well, let me tell you something. When you left Memphis, I left right behind you. We went to Louisiana, and you made more money than you ever made, and I made more money than we ever made because I looked after you, brother. I didn't let nobody stab you in the back, and this punk don't care about it.
Hey, you better watch yourself because I've signed this man to a contract, and I mean, it doesn't hurt matters to Victoria. She thinks he's cute. That's fine, huh? How do you like that?
Well, just let me tell you this, and I'm going to give you something to think about. When you go back to Charlotte, you tell your little grandson, my grandson, your son Dylan, you pick this idiot over me.
Bobby, I wish you'd rethink.
You probably thought that Brandon Baxter wasn't going to find the partner. Well, Wednesday, February the 21st, Jonesboro, Arkansas, at the Convocation Center. It's the showdown at the Nut House, and Jerry Lawler and the Cat. You can pay attention very closely because this man, the greatest tag team wrestler in the history of the wrestling business, that includes you, Grandmaster Sex.
Hey, it ain't nothing for me to bitch slap your butt, okay? Hey, what'd you say? I came over here because I couldn't believe that he actually came through with something and brought a great wrestler out here. And then you gotta talk to me like that.
Hey, don't get involved, Brian. No, you get banned. Come on. Get him out of here, Baxter. Get him out of here. Now, don't let him get you banned.
All right, as we come back on the set, and we'll start with this because I would bet money my friend Pat Trammell had never seen that piece of business before. Your comments, and how about Bobby's language? You see why we didn't used to let him talk?
I never saw that. Real issues sell. Is that what they say?
Yeah. Personal issues draw money.
Personal issues draw money, and you can't get any more personal than that.
Any other comment from that video?
You know, was that the Victoria, or went on to become Victoria in the WWF after that? The lady who was with
Yes.
Brandon? Yeah, that's what I thought. A younger
Okay.
version of Victoria. Yeah, I'll be darned. I didn't realize she had been in Power Pro.
Had you seen that piece
I
of business?
had, although it's been a long time, and I remember that angle of them talking about being son-in-law and father-in-law, and that was a great angle.
Final video of the show today. We're going to get a little personal. This is 8 minutes, 54 seconds. This is Power Pro Wrestling. Let's watch.
Just a couple of minutes with Lance Cade coming in.
Hey, buddy, you know, a moment ago I was talking about what happened at the showdown at the Nut House, what beautiful Bobby Eaton had done. Courtesy of the Cat. Let's call for that tape. Can we roll it up there, guys?
Watch this.
Yeah, take a look.
Oh, look at that. Here comes Eaton and Brandon. All right. Let me get out of here and talk. All right, they don't have the tape, and now I know why. He's just ripping the tape to shreds here. Yeah, I just don't want the fans to see what happened. All right, I'm sure you have your own version of what happened since you've destroyed the evidence.
You know what my version of what is not going to be played is? Bobby Eaton has been disrespected in the wrestling business for long enough.
Respect is something you earn, and for a while he did that. I'm not sure about this as a way to do it, though.
He has earned that respect for his entire career. You can ask the people on the internet. You can ask the people in the wrestling sheets. You can ask the wrestlers in the dressing room, and they will all tell you that they respect beautiful Bobby Eaton. But do you know, Dave, who hasn't shown the proper respect to Bobby Eaton? Any idea who hasn't?
I guess you're going to say we haven't, and that Bill Dundee perhaps.
Of professional wrestling haven't, and it all started in Memphis years back. When Bobby Eaton came in here, he was a future superstar. Everybody thought Bobby was the future of the business. But whether he was the first match or the fifth match, he always stole the show. But there were two guys who held Bobby Eaton back. One of them being Jerry Lawler. The other one being his father-in-law, Bill Dundee. So
I disagree with that.
They held him back, so Bobby decided he needed to move on. He needed to go somewhere where he would be respected, so they went to Mid-South Wrestling, to Bill Watts' company in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Bill Watts, he was on his butt. Their company was struggling. They were drawing hundreds of people. When the Midnight Express went in there, you know what happened? The territory popped. They put 30,000 people in the New Orleans Superdome. Is that true?
That is true, but I'm not sure it was just the arrival of the Midnight Express that did that.
Give me the microphone. They are the sole reason why Bill Watts' territory popped. But what happened? Bill Watts, he was greedy. He didn't want to pay them the money that they deserved. So they called up Dusty Rhodes, and they called up Jim Crockett, and they got ready to go to the Carolinas. But what happened? They were told that they had to go to Texas, to world class. They spent 6 miserable months in world class wrestling, and then they went to the Carolinas. You know what they did there? They went worldwide. They allowed Jim Crockett to expand his company worldwide. They had scaffold matches. They went from small buildings to soccer and football stadiums, all because of Bobby Eaton.
Well, his history is all very interesting.
And he was told that he would have a job with the NWA and WCW for life. He'd have a job for life. Tell him what happened, Bob.
Well, Brandon, about a year ago, I'm sitting in my house, Charlotte, North Carolina. I seen that old dingbat wife of mine out to get my check. She comes back in, there's no check there. So I called the office of WCW. I asked them where my check was. They said, oh, Bob, you've been released. So that's all fine, that's good. Then once again, last Wednesday night in Jonesboro, Arkansas, I got screwed. Screwed by the cat.
You see something that runs there?
Screwed by Lawler. Screwed by Bill Dundee.
If that's true, let's see the videotape evidence.
No. Now the referee seen right in front of his eyes that Jerry Lawler pile dropped me, which is an illegal move. He should have disqualified me.
It's illegal in Tennessee, but you were in Arkansas.
So what I do right now, I want the cat out here.
Well, I don't think the cat's even here yet. She'll be here later on today. We got the bikini contest. She hasn't arrived at the building yet. I at least haven't seen her.
All right, how about Lawler?
No, Lawler's working for the XFL. He's not even in town today. He's not scared. He's working for XFL. Bill Dundee is scouting for new talent. He's not here today. So you're out of luck.
What? You're not going to have a show today until I get somebody out here that's in charge. Okay?
Oh, we are going to have a show today.
No matches, no interviews. We're not leaving until we get answers. And until he gets respect. We're not going anywhere.
I better get respect out of you.
You'll get respect when you earn it, like I tell you. And you're not earning it very well by tearing up videotapes that we were going to show what happened.
There's the man.
Don't you want somebody in authority? How about the owner, the founder, the president?
Right now, get out of here right now. We have a show to do, matches to do.
Thank you.
We're not going to put up with this anymore.
Will you do me a favor? Will you turn around and run out there so I can yell, "Run, Forrest, run!"
You're a jerk. You've been a jerk for 5 years. I'm telling you, Eden, we have a TV show to do. Get out of here now.
Hey, I want the man in charge, Commissioner Bill Dundee, out here right now.
Commissioner's not here. This is the owner. He's the boss of the commissioner.
Oh, you're the owner. You're the promoter.
Let me say this.
Well, say it.
18 years ago, I was an 18-year-old kid, right? 18-year-old kid ring announcer. I'm not a kid. I'm not an announcer. I own this company, Bobby.
Oh, you're the owner.
You're exactly right. I'm not going to put up with you. I'm not going to put up with you. I'm going to tell you to get out of here. You're not going to run over here with everybody else. We're tired of this.
Oh, I know. You're just like Jerry Jarrett. You're like Eddie Marlin, Bill Watts, Terry Golden, Fritz Von Erich, Dusty Rhodes, Jim Crockett. You're all a bunch of scumbags.
Hey, Godson, get out of here.
Oh, you knew that was coming.
Hey, come on, guys. Let's ring the bell back here. Bobby Eaton just jumped on Randy.
Y'all think I'm about to take the Alabama Jam, Pat?
God, it would be such an honor.
You don't earn respect like that, let me tell you, Eaton. Come on, leave him alone.
I'm not 100% sure, but...
Brandon Fox and Bobby Eaton. Here comes the
referee. Yeah. Uh-oh, look out. Eaton grabs him.
Oh, no.
Hey. He's gone.
We're going to treat our officials like that, Eaton.
No, that ain't the right way to treat the guy. He runs in there to help him out. He just throws him out of there.
Yeah, you don't get respect like this. Here comes some help, too. But...
Oh, they throw him out of there, yeah.
He's thrown out of the ring.
Well,
I have no idea.
It's going to take more than one guy at a time.
Adam,
to
do
get
you
these
know?
Nordics off.
Uh-oh, Bobby. Boy,
I didn't recognize him.
Here comes some more help.
Push him over the top. Come on, Bobby. Cry out loud.
Goodness.
Here comes the Bulldog. That'll help even things up. He grabs Eaton.
Looks like I didn't take the
Now the
lead.
Bulldog going after him. Baxter's keeping everybody out.
Here comes Bradley.
Oh, here comes Steve Bradley.
Bulldog.
Oh, come on.
No help for Randy.
Steve Bradley.
All of this going on. And
That
now
makes things worse.
Baxter back over to Randy, and there's Eaton. Look at this.
Eaton dragging Randy Hales by his suit coat and by his pants. Pulls him over near the corner. Oh, he's going to climb for that rope, Dave. That's that Alabama Jam. We don't need that. Come on, Bobby.
There he goes.
There he is. Oh, my
Oh, yeah.
big leg drop.
He landed right on top of Randy. Come on. Get him out of there. Yeah, grab him, Corey. Let's see if we can get him out of there. Oh, well, now Bradley grabs him and hey. Get security over here. Get out of the ring now, or we're calling the police and we're taking you out.
Oh.
You get out of the ring now, we're going to call the police and take you out of here. Get out of the ring. Out. Help him out of here. Out. Get out of the studio. Out of here. Yeah, you don't get respect that way. You get out of here.
Yeah, Dave didn't get mad like this very often.
No. Start with Rusty, then go to Pat. Then I have a final question for these guys. What did you think? Did you enjoy our look back at Power Pro Wrestling this week? Because I know Adam Dunn, my producer, is the happiest man in Georgia right now because he loves him some Power Pro Wrestling. And Adam says he has tears because of Dave. That performance from Dave, as Adam says he loves Dave, and that was a good job. Your comments, did you enjoy the Power Pro stuff?
Oh, I did. I don't think I've seen that one. I've seen most Power Pro stuff, but I don't think I've seen that one in particular before. So that was terrific. So how did you get Bobby? Was Bobby Eaton not working for another company at that point, or how did you get him in there, Randy?
He was hired by the WWE to be a trainer of the developmental guys.
I see. And you all had kind of an arrangement with WWE?
Yeah, they were paying us to be the developmental deal, and there was two at the time. Terry Golden had Memphis Championship Wrestling. Not only was I using him and made him a focal point of my television show, I didn't have to pay. I had Bobby Eaton, and not only did I not have to pay him a dime, I got paid from the WWF and was able to use him. It was a can't-miss situation. Did you enjoy that?
Absolutely. That was terrific. Boy, Dave was, in fact, I think Dave was kind of the star of that clip. He coordinated it all very well in a way that only he can do, and that he didn't do that very often. He didn't get upset or carried away very often. So this was really a good one.
Now, Pat, I want to ask you, as you have not watched a lot of Power Pro stuff, every once in a while we sneak something in. You saw 2 pieces of video right there, and your thoughts on that.
I had never seen that, and I think Dave to number one, you carried the segment for sure. But Dave carried Bobby through it. Obviously, everybody knows that's not his strong suit. But I mean, everybody in Memphis knew how big Bobby Eaton was at that time.
Yep.
I thought it was great stuff. I thought that was a typical heel move for the heel Brandon. Good stuff.
Absolutely, without a doubt. I love those Power Pro days, without a doubt. Rusty, you're back. We missed you. Glad you're back. What did you learn today? And final comments from Dr. William Rusty, husband of Beth Robinson. What'd you learn?
Man, I learn so much every time I do this. Bobby Eaton being back in Memphis in the Power Pro area, I guess I just didn't realize that. So now I understand that. What else I learned? Jackie Fargo and Sonny Roughhouse Fargo were brothers in real life. I thought they were not. So I've learned something there. Gosh, and I don't even remember all the other specific things, but I always learn something from when we see the matches from the early 70s, because that's been so long ago, even though I might have been there for live for some of them. Boy, that's 50 plus years ago. Those are tough to keep or to come up with out of your brain this far out. So I appreciate you showing those.
Pat Trammell, we missed you last week. You've had a busy end of the summer, things getting back to normal a little bit. Don't tell me you have to miss next week. I hope you're here because I always love having you. What did you learn today, and final thoughts for today's show on Talking Memphis Wrestling? Good to have you back.
Well, it was great to be back. I enjoyed watching, and I have seen it before, but with you and Rusty and Adam, I get so much more insight into that scaffold match, and I've got a much, much, much better and newfound appreciation from that. And the Power Pro bringing Bobby in as a heel to Dundee is just a great piece of work.
What I'm going to do is ask Adam, because Adam loves and he knows every Power Pro stuff out there on YouTube. It's hard just for us to pick out something from an entire show and edit it together. I want to start doing Power Pro segments, and Adam is going to be, I hope, responsible for every week. Find one video, find two video, whatever he wants to find, some kind of highlight type of thing that you don't have to edit. You can find already on YouTube, and we'll do that because we did good stuff in Power Pro Wrestling. This has been fun tonight. Guys, thank you both for being here today. It was great.
Very welcome. We appreciate it.
Great to see everybody.
I will end the way I started. Graphic number 4420. I'm back in the saddle again. My roots started way back. Microphone in my hand for the first time in my life in 1977 when I became a wrestling ring announcer. Coming up this Thursday night on Main Street in hot Jonesboro, Arkansas, up on Hurricane Hill. Open the roof and let it rain and get on hell, Hurricane. R.H. Randy Hills, the former owner, founder, president of Power Pro Wrestling, will be rolling into Jonesboro High School TWA. Tell all the ladies, Randy will be on the way. Now, brand new PA guy, and don't say it's favoritism that my niece, Coach Grossbeck, hired me to be the voice, the PA voice of the Jonesboro Lady Hurricane volleyball team. Who else they gonna get in her own family that she don't have to pay? She's got a radio television graduate, a bachelor degree, somebody experienced in doing this, somebody that's gone his whole life talking to people, somebody that grabs this Lance Russell microphone, and I might take this Lance Russell microphone, and I might have it right there at Jonesboro High School. I might have it right there, all hooked up and ready to go, as again I will say, are you ready? Are you ready? It is time for some JHS ladies volleyball. Then I will say, and ladies and gentlemen, will you stand and face the flag for the playing of our national anthem? Then I'll say, it's game time. Again, other family situation. As I said at the opening of this show, I am fortunate. At 63 years old, you're not thinking maybe because I was so much older than my great nephews and nieces that when the great greats come around, even though I'm older in life and I can't get down on the ground and play like I played with the other kids, but 4-4-2, 4-4-3-4, 4-4-2-7, 4-4-5-4, all those things, I am proud to say that ORH is the proud great uncle of this young man, Kai Stephen Richardson. Family is what it's all about. As we'll close this show now, if they're still there on a 3-shot, certainly, even though he doesn't join us too much and we just happen to, there we go. We don't have the option right now because Adam does not have a camera on. Folks, great show, right, guys?
Absolutely. Enjoyed every minute of it.
For Pat Trammell, Rusty Robinson, and Adam Dunn, and all the great people, and Bo James and everybody else. PJ, love you guys. I'm Randy Hales. Go Hurricanes! Thank you, everybody. Love you, Kai.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Talking Memphis Wrestling with Randy Hales and special guests.